Hello and welcome back to Game Room Crafts. I'm Kelly. This is my game room. Let's play. Today we're going to do a little bit of experimenting. A while back, I bought myself some of this Unicorn Art crushed crystal. Everybody's raving about it, and it really does. It's a pigment enhancer, magical micro pigment enhancer, it says. And you put very little in, and the more you mix it, the sparklier it gets. I don't know how it works. It's really magic. The problem is that recently it has been unavailable on Amazon and even on Unicorn Art's own website. I don't know why. At first it was listed as back ordered and then it's just gone, completely gone. I mean, they're in pictures, but there's nowhere to order it. There's nowhere to look it up and see where we're at. So I heard through watching videos that this stuff here by this brand, Chang Tikije mica powder. It says pearlescent pigment powder, sparkling white. This stuff, it says sparkle crystal luster. This stuff is almost identical to this stuff, and people have been using it as a replacement since they can't get the Unicorn Art crushed crystal. Look at that. Look at the sparkles on my hands. I'm going to shine for a very long time. Recently, I was at Michael's and I came across this stuff. When I opened it, to me, it seemed very similar. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to try the same amount of resin, the same amount of additive. We're going to try and see what the difference is between the three because there is a price point difference. As you can see, this bottle is way big. This is a 7.5 ounce bottle. The Unicorn Crush Art is a 2 ounce bottle. And this is a 0.5 ounce bottle, the Recollections Pearl Sparkle. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try it in clear resin with the same amount of additive for each. And then we're going to try it with an alcohol ink with the same amount just to see how they react. So I'm going to mix up some resin and then we'll get started. See you in a bit. So I'm mixing up 40 milliliters of the Bond Crafter 1-to-1 resin, and when I'm done, I'm going to split it 3 ways. Actually, I think I can split it 6 ways. Yeah, 6 ways. And the kid has chosen the Rosafar purplish red alcohol ink for this set, and we'll go from there. Okay, and we're back. So this is what I've done. I started out with 40 milliliters of 1-to-1 resin, and I quickly realized that math is not my friend. So what I did was I split what I had, a 1/4 ounce in each cup. I did have to make up a little bit more, but each cup is exactly a 1/4 ounce of resin. So we're going to, oh, wait a minute. There's something floating in this cup. There we go. Got it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to take our molds and we're going to mark them. This is 1, this is 2, and up here is 3. That doesn't look like a 3, but trust me, it's a 3. And then we'll do it here. 1, 2, 3. Again, doesn't look like a 3, but trust me, it's a 3. This is why I have the kid write everything. Okay. Then we start this way, and I've quickly come to realize that in addition to math not being my friend, in order to have an accurate representation, I have to mix each of these the same amount of time with my resin, because as we know, with the Unicorn Crushed Crystal, the more you mix it, the sparklier it gets, the more you get the shine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sparkles. This is 1. Here's the scoop. Not very much at all. I don't know if you can see that. And that goes in cup number 1 on this side, and again in cup number 1 on this side. And we cover that up because I am a klutz of ginormous proportions, and I wipe off my sip because I want any of additive number 1 going into cup number 2. Now the Unicorn Crushed Crystal. Now I can tell you right now, although it kind of looks the same on the cover, here in the pot, this has more sparkle. So we're going to give it a shot again. Same amount in cup number 2 and cup number 2 here. And that gets covered. And cover them because these things fly everywhere. As you can see, I already got some in my mold, so I'm going to wipe that out. Okay, and then the sparkling white, which I have strong opinions about this. I happen to think that they're the same exact product, that they might be from the same exact distributor, but that one company can't get it and the other can. Again, same amount both cups and cover. Now, in order to get accurate representations, they have to be mixed the same amount. Herein lies the problem, because I would normally mix this with my paddle, but these cups are way too small for that. And the amount is way too small to have put in a larger cup. So we will have to mix by hand. So I'm going to try this. Right. Whereas if our alcohol ink, purplish red is the color. We're going to put 2 drops in each. Okay, that gets stirred in. Okay, I'm going to leave those 3 alone and let them degas, which I will say this, the Bond Crafter 1-to-1 is very good at self-degassing. I don't have a bubble machine or a vacuum chamber. That's next on my wish list. Until then, I have to rely on the old-fashioned standards, letting them self-degas, using my long neck lighter, maybe alcohol, depends on the project. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1. I say this, because this was just a test, I didn't put a lot of resin in each of these cups. So these are going to be very thin. Normally I would use these for a keychain, whatever. They're not, they're just going to be blanks. Okay, number 2 is the Unicorn Crushed Crystal. Okay, so that is the Unicorn Crushed Crystal. I can already tell you that the Recollections has a whiter hue to it. Okay, wiping off my scraper. Okay, and this is number 3. This is the Sparkle White from Tang Tikajay. Okay, so now we're moving on to the alcohol inks with the additives. Here's number 1. That would be, again, the Pearl White. Okay, we're going to let these set probably on my heat mat. I'm going to check for bubbles in a little bit, and then I'm going to turn the heat mat on. Usually let it sit about half hour to an hour before turning on the heat mat, just so that any bubbles can come up naturally on their own, and hopefully I can get them out. But not like I'm going to be using these for anything. If anything, they'll probably go into another project later. Okay, I'm going to clean up, and we will see you back on demold. Bye. Hey, we're back. These are... Sure, they're still hot and they're still bendy, but I'm, impatient. Just ask the kid. Speaking of the kid, she wasn't here when I cast these, so has no idea what 1, 2, or 3 means. So I have marked each one to go along with the mold, and you and I know what 1, 2, and 3 is, but we're gonna ask the kid. Hey kid. So I told you what I was going to do with the crushed crystal, the sparkling white, and the pearl sparkle. I want you to take a look at these. We're going to play one of these things is not like the other.
Well, they are upside down, but I can still see the numbers.
Well, yeah, I know. But do you know which one was which? 1, 2, or 3?
No.
Okay, so this is the way they went into the mold. This is your opposite side. So say if we were casting, I'm going to put this would be the front, right?
Okay.
Okay, so if you had to pick, now you're the one who originally you hated crushed crystal. You hated the idea of crushed crystal. And then once I got crushed crystal, you wanted it in everything. So if you had to pick, so let's look just at the clear. How about that? Let's look just at the clear.
Are they in the same order though?
Same order. I did this, yeah. If you had to pick, which one would you say was the crushed crystal?
2.
2? 2 is the crushed crystal? Why?
It just looks that way.
It looks like crushed crystal.
So, yeah, the one that's crushed crystal, the one you think is the same thing as crushed crystal and the other one, right?
Okay.
That would be the other one.
This would be the other, not similar to crushed crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this is crushed crystal and this is not crushed crystal, so hold them up, look at them in the light. Go ahead.
I can see.
So what are we thinking here?
I said I think 2 is
2 is crushed crystal. Do you think they're the same thing or
very similar at least.
at the least very similar?
But I think 1 is different.
Oh, you mean number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 is different. It's more.
Is that the different one?
Yes, number 1 is the different one.
Okay, at least I'm.
It's more milky, right?
Yeah.
So obviously mica powder.
Yeah. Also, it's more like they're all like they're the same amount of shiny
Yep.
versus the other 2.
So this is more uniform.
Yeah, but that's boring.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so
I noticed that you also put more ink this way.
you know what? It wasn't my fault. It had to do with the way the pen was put in. I have since introduced it to a thumbtack. So yeah.
How nice. So 1 is in fact the one that's not either.
Yeah.
That's
1
such a
is
normal sounding
the
sentence.
Michael's Pearl Sparkle. And it is listed as a mica powder. I just thought when we brushed it on that one mold, it looked similar when we brushed it on. But it obviously reacts differently. So if you absolutely cannot get crushed crystal or sparkling white, then this is something that you could use, but you would have to use very little, because you know what? All I did was this scoop here. It wasn't even like it was very flat level. So this is a very small amount to go in there. So all of them had the same amount and they were all the exact same amount of resin. The only difference is when I did the dropper thing, this one came out the darkest.
It's an ombre.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, but if you had to pick between these two, which one do you like better?
See, the fact that you keep asking me is making me think that I was wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so then I agree. It was still 2.
Number 2 is the crushed crystal. But if you absolutely could not get a hold of the crushed crystal, we're saying this is a good alternative.
That's a better alternative than that one. My hand looks so strange.
Is it?
It's comparable.
It's comparable. Is it almost like you couldn't tell the difference? I mean, obviously you could tell the difference because you looked at it. I don't know. I almost think like this has more sparkle to it.
Did you mix it more?
No. I mixed them both the same amount. You feel like?
I was about to say something that kind of sounds really stupid. I feel like 3 would be if you combined 1 and 2.
Really?
Yep, I did pass kindergarten after all.
1 + 2 is 3.
Like they're similar, but I feel like the 3 is slightly more milky than the 2 and also has more sparkle for the size, but it's less defined.
Okay, I can see that there's a little more milky than this.
Yeah.
Little. Not
It's not a lot.
Not a lot.
It's still there.
A little more.
I am bothered by the slight bendiness of them.
Well, they're still soft. You want to feel?
No, thank you. I'm good, actually.
But the milky did not affect this.
Yeah, no, it didn't. That looks fine.
Which I would have to say it did affect this.
But I don't know if it affected that or if it just has less of the color in it.
No, but then I added more to even it up.
But still, like this one has more color in it than these ones.
I know, isn't that strange? Okay, so
apparently I could tell the difference. Woohoo!
Yay. So crushed crystal is the be all end all of that. But and apparently right now, the if is the reality. If you cannot get a hold of crushed crystal, then the mica powder sparkling white, 7.05 ounce, which we will link in the description below, is a great alternative and it is more economical. The Unicomb crushed crystal, this one here, which is only 2 ounces, is only, it was before it disappeared from the market, $14.99 on Amazon. We'll also link that if we can find it, because it was saying currently unavailable, and then last week when I looked, it was completely gone. So if we can find it, we'll link it below. If not, this is the link that you're gonna get. It is Chang Tiki Jai. What is J-I? G? Jai? G. I don't know. In either case, it's this. It actually shows up as CT. Mica powder, pearlescent pigment powder, sparkling white. And it says features sparkle crystal luster. I wonder if they had this and it just said sparkle crystal luster, if you wouldn't have what she said, that kind of milkiness. It's very, very, very slight though. I mean, you cannot see it when you're using color and you can barely see it in the clear. Yeah. Anyway, That was my experiment for today. I had fun. I hope it was fun and informative for you. Thank you for joining us in the game room. We'll see you again next time. Bye.